Who is NTT?
So NTT is Nippon Telephone and Telegraph. It's Japanese telecom running all the landline phones in Japan as well as mobile services. And my branch is NTT Security. We do all of the information security services, so monitoring people's networks, doing consulting services, coming in for things like risk assessments and penetration tests, and basically anything we can do to help keep our clients safe from all of the threats that are out there on the internet today.
What is your opinion about the HP security campaign starring the Wolf?
It kind of surprised me. I saw it at Black Hat briefings this year when I got out to Las Vegas, and the ads and the videos were all over the airport in McCarran there, obviously for the Black Hat audience that was showing up. As soon as I saw it waiting for my luggage, I got a laugh out of it, just from my experience in the past with all of the security issues that we've seen in printers through my years of penetration testing, and to see anybody saying that their printers are secure was just kind of a joke as far as I'm concerned.
What are your findings on the HP penetration tests?
From what we found, I don't think they've put a lot more security effort in on their devices than anybody else has. It looks like this is a lot of marketing. Some of the big things we found were sort of the obvious things, like being able to manipulate print jobs. But on the nastier side of things, we're looking into the ability to actually go in and basically run our own code on the printer. Basically hijack the printer's processors and network interface. And once we can run our own software on there, we can use it for anything we want to do. We can use it as a sort of a penetration testing workstation to get deeper into a network. And anything that we can do, the real bad guys can do as well.
HP claims its printers are the most secure in the industry. Is this true?
I think it's safe to say that across the board, these devices, all of these printers, nobody's really that far above and beyond anybody else when it comes to security. We're seeing the same types of vulnerabilities across the board.
What did you find to be HP's most serious vulnerability?
The biggest, nastiest vulnerability we found on the HP was what we call a remote code execution vulnerability, which is a fancy way of saying that an attacker can write his own program and have it run on the device that's being attacked. And so that gets into, when we talk about running my own code, I can write my own little piece of software that lets me start scanning your network, looking for other vulnerable devices, exploit those other devices, or even getting into things like viruses, malware that spread on their own. That once I can execute my own software on your device, I can do anything I want to do as an attacker. I'm limited only by my creativity and how much processing power the device has.
According to the HP security report, one of the biggest problems is that their HP's printer default settings are not secure. This is a significant problem. Do you agree?
Default settings are always a major issue on any sort of device we run into, whether it's printers or other Internet of Things devices, and even regular software for workstations and servers. Manufacturers, they tend to go for ease of use over security. They want their devices to work out of the box when they're plugged in. They don't want to have a lot of support calls. And so that's what we typically see, is that these devices are configured to just work out of the box. From a security standpoint, that becomes a risk. And so for any sort of software, including devices like printers, we always recommend that the first thing you do when you install these things as a user is to go in and shut off all of the settings that you don't need, lock it down as much as you can, change the passwords, turn on the encryption, whatever options you have available to you, you should use them.
How can print device manufacturers protect their clients from security vulnerabilities?
And then turning back to the vendors, the manufacturers, our recommendation is ship these things locked down. Because when somebody's buying an appliance like a printer, they don't necessarily know what settings they do need to turn on and turn off. We have to recognize that users are going to just tend to turn these things on and plug them in and run with it. So we have to try to set them up to be as secure as they can be by default.
Konica Minolta offers a security service that locks down these devices prior to being installed on the network. Is that valuable?
Having a service where an expert comes in and locks your devices down is huge. And there's nobody better to do that than the manufacturer, because they're going to know that device best. That's a huge step towards getting these devices to be more secure. To harden up a printer, it really needs to be what we call defense in depth. So starting with the printer itself is key. Going in, locking down all those security settings as best as you can on the device, turning off any unnecessary ports and protocols and functions that you don't necessarily need can reduce that attack surface. But then you have to start thinking beyond the printer itself. You have to look at the rest of the network. Things like, do you want to leave that printer on the same network with all of your sensitive servers and databases, or do you want to firewall your network internally, isolate the printer from the sensitive systems on your network, making sure that that printer is not directly connected out to the internet where somebody can directly scan it. Making sure that things like the Wi-Fi, some printers have built-in Wi-Fi, other Bluetooth wireless capabilities, making sure that those are either securely configured or locked down so that somebody driving by on the street can't just jump onto the printer's Wi-Fi network or the Wi-Fi network that the printer happens to be connected to and get access to it that way and use it as sort of that stepping stone deeper into the network. From an end user perspective, configuration is key. If you want to lock these things down, you have to go in, you have to make sure you've turned on all of the security settings you can, turned off all the functionality you don't need.
Why is a service like BizHub Secure Platinum important?
The goal is to sort of reduce the attack surface as much as you can. Give the attacker less functions, less features, less network ports and protocols that they can use to try to go after that printer. So that way, if let's say a new vulnerability happens to be found in, say, the wireless printing functionality, if the wireless printing functionality is turned off, that vulnerability is of no use to an attacker.
BizHub Secure provides complex administrator passwords and other hard drive specific measures, encryption, locked password, auto deletion of image data, and data overwrite. BizHub Secure Platinum provides everything in BizHub Secure, plus enhanced network protection, enhanced user authentication options, IP filtering, limiting network access options, audit logs, disabling unwanted ports and protocols, strict password rules, and more. BizHub Secure has won multiple awards.